We're here with Stewart Grant at the 2022 RCRA National Championships, and I just want to catch up with you and get a little bit of a summary on how your weekend went.
Yeah, it went great. Finished second. Took 8 people to drop out, but I got there to second. But yeah, it was alright. Biggest problem in the final was you couldn't see the car, but that was okay.
I actually heard you asking your pit man to give you driving advice.
Yeah, because at this end of the track you couldn't see within the shadow. You can't see the car at all. And so I said to him, if I'm getting too close to the corner, let me know. I was just trying to stay in the middle of the track. Once I came through here and like I just saw black and just ran off onto the grass a bit. It's just like, it's probably easier for the younger guys, maybe a little bit, but they still complain about it. But yeah, it's a big issue. You can't see it all.
You had a little bit of a moment early on. I saw the car looked a bit skatey. What was
I came up the back here and to be honest, I don't really understand. I just put the right rear wheel just on the very edge of the grass and it ripped a big hunk out of the rim. So yeah, I struggled back to the pits to get a new tyre. And then I ran out of fuel, which was my fault, not my pit man's. And yeah, that was about it.
And then just touching on this event, you mentioned to me earlier it's a bit of a milestone event for you. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I won my first ever 8-scale nationals in 1982 in Geelong. So it's 40 years since then. So to me it was important.
Yeah, I know you were just talking to Jeffrey Mackey who won it this year about the trophy. Just tell us a little bit about that, the history of that.
George McDermott was the founding father of the Australian Association. He put all the initial work in to write all the rules and get it all registered and all that sort of stuff. So he was the president and David Hyde was the secretary, and they did all that work in the very beginning. So that's why it's always been called the George McDermott Trophy. It's been at every single nationals ever held. So.
And what year did that start?
It would have been 79. So they did hold an event in 78, but it wasn't actually a fully sanctioned event. So the first ever sanctioned Australian Association event was 1979.
And just touching on your history, when did you start? Obviously your dad, this circuit's named after your dad. But when did you first get into RC? What age?
Well, he wasn't into the RC cars at all. So when, like I grew up in a motor racing family, so I used to read the American magazines. My dad used to fly planes. And there was a track at Ludman at the model park there. And so on a Tuesday, my dad used to go flying every Tuesday. So in the school holidays, I'd go up. And so probably when I was about 10, we had a Kyosho dune buggy, and he made it into like you could use it on the track, you know. And so I used to go up there with him in school holidays on a Tuesday and drive around the track while he flew his planes. And then, yeah, I think, and then I joined this club. And we had a track at the old where Wattlegrove is now, not Holsworthy, on an old aerodrome there. And so I used to get dropped off up there when I was about 15, 16, and just be left up there for the day running around, trying to run around, with the engine glued in with araldite and lots of silly things. But it was a good learning curve. And then my dad bought he actually bought Rob Reed and David Hyde's cars that won the Nationals in 1980. And we went down to Wagga for my first state titles. And yeah, I was leading that by quite a way with not long to go and had a bit of a radio issue. And that's all I'll say about that. But when we left that, like my dad had never been really to a race meeting before, but he pitted for me. And I think he just thought that like things could be improved a lot. And he, probably thought that it was a good thing to do with me and that, and so yeah, so he got involved after that, and the cars moved from my shed into his shed, and from there it was off it went.
Yeah, it's unreal. It must be really special to be racing out a circuit, named after your dad.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, because he was heavily involved in building Crossroads. was more me that built this track, but you know, his name deserves to be up there for what he did to the club for the club over all those years. You know, so yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, no, he's got the live stream. You can get that up for him on the iPhone or the iPad, and he can watch your final. Look back at that on Facebook. So the technology's changed a bit probably since the early days.
He'll ring me up and tell me how crap I drove.
No, it's great. We really want to catch up with you more and capture some of that history and all that heritage, and that's really important. But mate, thank you so much for the chat today. Well done on getting second. 40 years after your first title, that's sensational. So well done. And
thanks very much. Thank you.